This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masterverse Masters of the Universe Vintage Collection Mer-Man, the Ocean Warlord. This was another Walmart exclusive, and I found him out in the wild. Surprisingly, he was also the only thing that wasn't canceled from my orders at the previous to last CancelCon. And then I canceled the order myself because I found him in the store. Because screw you guys. Still rather support the local store than, the national chain, so to speak. You know what I mean? Anyway, front of the box is our normal Vintage Collection box, and he looks pretty good there. And thank goodness, some of the promo images made it look like the entire front of his harness was going to be like a goldish color. And it's not, and it looks good. On the back of the box, we've got some of that vintage style artwork that I love so much.
Lurking deep beneath the sea, Mer-Man awaits the evil call to arms of Skeletor.
That is weirdly phrased. I think it should be call to arms from Skeletor. Anyway, you can arm him with a sword, this corncob sword, or arm him with a trident, which is interesting because the trident actually originally came with the classics version, and honestly, they could probably have used the classics version with him if he actually has a trident in there. As part of this wave, we just have Mer-Man, the Ocean Warlord.
In 1982, Masters of the Universe took the world by storm with action figures that captured the imaginations of people from here to Eternia. Today, the Masterverse celebrates the original designs as modern 7-inch scale action figures with the Vintage Collection.
Alright, my Mer-Man voice isn't quite as good as some other people. Looking at you, Shaneology. But I think I did okay. Well, let's go ahead and open this guy up, shall we? So on the content list here, we do see it does have a trident, a couple of fists, his sword, and him. Although I'm hoping that that's actually a fist and a grabbing hand and not just two fists. But we'll find out in a moment here. It is a second grabbing hand, and I am like 96.8% certain that this trident is not the same one that came with Masterverse. Mostly because of this wrapping here. Or not Masterverse, Classics. Duh. But yeah, this does look like it's a brand new trident for him. His sword actually does look more like it's the spine and parts of a fish than any of his previous swords, which kind of did look like a corn cob for cornholing, if you know what I mean. But let's check out our action figure here. As usual, we've got the basic body that we've seen on all the Vintage Collection Masterverse figures. Skeletor's arms and hands. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that all this is just reuse of Skeletor. Well, except for the harness and the head, of course. And the head is based on the original toy head. The harness itself, like I said, I thought when I first saw the images of this, that this whole part was supposed to be this gold color, and I thought it looked awful in the promo pictures. But it actually looks pretty good. I mean, overall, Mer-Man did turn out pretty well. Like, this was a figure that I thought was going to be iffy to me, but they did a pretty good job on him. Like I said, I'm glad we got a second grasping hand. I'm just going to switch that out now. So he can actually hold his sword. Maybe. This plastic is... Oh my god. Dude, look how fatigued that plastic got just from me trying to put the sword in there. This is really stiff plastic on his hands. Ridiculously so. So you're going to want to be... If you get him, you're definitely going to want to be more careful than I was, apparently. Yeah, see, we can have him hold both weapons nice and easily. Again, this sword looks better, probably because it's actually got a little bit bigger and the blade itself is flatter. It's not as rounded as some of the previous ones have been. And it's kind of sharp. That actually that would hurt. So articulation-wise on our buddy here, head's on a ball joint. You can wobble it all around, spin. We can get a good look down and a look up. And he's always got a look of surprise on his face. Actually, I think they did a really good job on that mouth, too, if I'm being honest with you. We can spin the arm all around into 360, and the harness does move out of the way on its own. We can hinge up and down. Masterverse does not have butterfly joints. We have the double jointed elbow in the arm, unlike our female characters who Mattel removed the double joint from, angering me greatly. We do have a boob cut, so we can move the top around. You can shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And you can spin, well, you can spin that part a bit too. Although, it does want to kind of like fling back. I wonder what is the inside of this thing looks like. You know what? Oh, yeah, and that also works as an ab crunch, by the way, kind of. I wonder if I get like one of these figures really cheap. I kind of want to crack one open. They did do, by the way, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier, they do have a color wash on here, some darker parts to bring out some of the highlights and lowlights and so forth. He does not have drop-down hips. As you can see, the hips are very tightly in place on his crotch, which is a little bit sad, but, you know, guess I'm not going to complain too much about that. But we can kick forward because he has a split in his bikini. And back pretty far. Again, thanks to that split, the ass end moves out of the way. But look at that ass, man. His panties are real tight. You know, there's a group called High Heeled Sluts, and they had a song called My Panties Are Too Tight. I used to love listening to their CD. It was so f***ing goofy.
My panties are too tight. My panties are too tight. My panties are too tight.
Anyway, you can spin at the thigh. We've got a double jointed knee there. We can spin at the boot. Which, is this supposed to be a boot, or is this supposed to be his actual foot or calf? And we have the ankle pivot and spin. And we did all that with him still holding his sword and staff. Oh yeah. 360 on the wrist and in and out articulation on both hands. In fact, on all of his hands have the in and out articulation. So overall with this figure, I really like the way he turned out. Although I forgot to mention that he does have a little spot on his back, so you can slide his sword back there if you wanted to, and just have him holding the trident. I might actually do that for display, to be honest with you, when you get right down to it. But I do think he turned out really nice overall. And since he is now available in the stores, if you see him, you might as well pick him up because he turned out really good. Honestly, I don't really have much else to say about him other than that. You know, he turned out nicely, and pick them up. And if you did enjoy this look at our Masterverse version of the vintage Mer-Man, please feel free to spear that like button with your trident. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Feel free to slice at that like button with your corncob sword. And if you enjoyed this look at Mer-Man, and if you enjoyed this look at the Masterverse version of Mer-Man, please feel free to stab that like button with your trident. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Maybe you want to slice at that notification bell with your corncob sword. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.